Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I have a little recap of the Nancy Guthrie case, and I want to go over all of the details that have been consistently kind of coming out. Last night I did a little bit of it was like a meditation download flow state where I was shuffling and I just allowed whatever to come out freely as it needed to, and whatever stuck out as like I've seen this before, this has come up before, I have kept that all to the side, but I wanted to organize it with you on camera just as a change of pace, as we are reporting on Nancy's kind of like update to her kidnapping, missing persons slash whatever case this is at this point. It's day 12. Okay. Part of why I feel like a lot of this is important for me to take note of, and I need you guys as my extra eyes and ears, because this is like, I remember saying that this case is going to feel like Nancy Drew. The level of activity that and engagement that's going to come from the public is going to be a major storyline within this storyline on its own. Okay, so let's organize some things. Also, let's pay attention to a lot of things that are coming up like this. Someone's in over their head right now. um Again, we try not to accuse people right away because we are pulling on energy that is still active, right? And this is an active case. But it is important to stay abreast of um your intuitive pings and be able to compare and contrast that with official stories and all of that, right? So phase 6, location and discovery. That's what they were doing at one point. Like the property search became super significant due to the time of death. Remember, I've been saying that the timeline, someone's alibi didn't match up. I don't know if it was Annie's, but it feels like it's a combination of Annie and Tommaso. She could have lied about where Tommaso was. She could have spoke in front of what he said, and they compared the two times and it didn't match up to what they say is the confirmation. But I feel like this is also like about planning. The planning was to be like to have a morning rush or to do something in the morning really quickly, broad daylight. This energy right here kind of comes out very like, ugh, date night turned deadly. It's almost like they lured her somewhere and posed it as dinner, with a loved one. Meanwhile, it's something else. Thursday could be significant. There could be a road that opens up as far as either locating Nancy. Tomorrow, wait, that's not what I meant to say. Tomorrow is a separate statement as far as the channel. But Thursday, they could get some information about, which is today, they could be getting some info about, I don't know, a map. A manipulative mastermind is here. Now, this is where this kind of energy needs to be addressed. This person seems to be like obsessed with like something that feels green. It could be money. It could just be that they are envious of someone, but it does feel like they definitely are money hungry. And they could have been set up or thought that they would be set up to be able to get an inheritance because they could be in a financial bind. That's the intent that the investigation could have brought them to. Okay. They could also suspect a spouse or partner, and that is where, hold on here, financial binding. Okay, let's use this as the intent, financial binding. We have phase 3, timeline integrity, and this is with the spouse or partner here. So I feel like this is where they fucked up. It's like Annie said the wrong thing. This is the matriarch who hid the truth, or this could also be in reference to her mom hiding the truth about who. received something. Maybe she didn't know all the details. Either way, we also have this close friend here. Okay, so there could be this other accomplice. That could be in reference to other clues that we've been hearing in the news. But again, none of this is really fully confirmed. Now, we do have some pieces of evidence here, digital payment tracing performances, um, metadata. So this could be actual evidence that we have, or this is what they are looking for. But either way, this is kind of like status. They're in over their head. This could also be in reference to the police academy. I am going to do a video on Pima County and the shifts that has been going on within there. And I'm also going to talk about the recent reportings of like corruption. There's a new guy that's coming over. His name is Chad. Um, he's just like a town over, but I want to know, why is he here now? Is he really good at his job? Something about his look doesn't resonate. Search warrant thresholds. Authorities are having a hard time. Now we have this business rival here. I don't know what this is about. This felt more like what other people stand to gain or something. But either way, somebody's instincts were right. They knew something was coming. I didn't know if this was Nancy's energy or if this is like also the perps when they kind of like, when you mess up and then it's like this person maybe didn't expect things to unravel a certain way, and now, or maybe they thought about worst case scenario and now it's playing out. Something about that. But anyway, we have this family member. This is where I feel like this has to do with like the siblings, because we have the family member business rival. It's like somebody stood to gain something if, someone else was gone. Now we have some evidence cards here. Blood not belonging to the victim could be present. There could be a strange tattoo. Again, remember this came out. Go back to the readings. Make sure that you start readings from like in the order that they're supposed to, or in the order that they were posted. I created a playlist so that you could follow the story as we go along, as the story develops, and I'm picking up on the energy in real time. So I have been picking up on energy that's like 24 to 48 hours in advance, and in other, I mean, for the most part, that's what I've been noticing. But there could be uh other things in terms of like scaling, whatever that is. But this is why I wanted to sift through what has been coming out thus far so we can kind of help navigate and help this energy kind of transition, because it is significant. For some reason, this is super significant, beyond obviously what we're seeing. But anyway, strange tattoo or mark recognized. I didn't know why that would be significant, but today I did hear them talk about a person who's on some other ring camera who does not seem related. It does feel like it is a diversion or just some little like hiccup or distraction used to kind of throw off the investigation. This could also be a ploy that the sheriff's department is doing. There is some discussion about what's going on and who is like responsible for what. And I do feel like the colliding info is going to be significantly detrimental to the outcome of this case in some way. National security issue is back out here. I'm telling you, this has to do with a larger story than what we have been told, but we'll get into that at a later point. Reported disappearance timeline correlation. Okay, this is where I feel like the time in terms of what people said about where they saw Nancy. I'm gonna do another timeline video. I did one yesterday, but I was not satisfied with it, and I have an even more consolidated timeline. And I think it's funny that I wasn't satisfied with it yesterday when I started collecting all the data from when I've been, writing down notes and all of that. Like I treat this case like it would be like a true investigation. But at the end of the day, like today, the story became significant about shifting the timeline altogether. TMZ was the one who drop that exclusive in a sense. So it's weird to me that I was even able to pick up on that. And they mentioned that this strange tattoo, there could be a person with a strange tattoo. Anyway, official cover up falls apart. This could be in relation to someone's alibi or the larger story. So, medical records concealed. There could be something about her prescriptions. Like, I was thinking because there's a CVS that's not too far from there, that would make the most sense in terms of if she needed medication. I wonder when's the last time she had a prescription filled. Because they made such a big hoopla about her medication and she has this heart condition, yada yada yada. Now there's also been some conversation about possibly the pacemaker um playing a role in something. The pacemaker would be a situation with I think they said that the pacemaker could continue to be on even past the point of death, which I think is kind of interesting because that, like, I don't know, that kind of leans into my theory that people who have pacemakers are kind of like Frankenstein to me, but no disrespect. I'm just, that's just my brain. Anyway, phase two, the participants. Okay, so that's what they have. They were narrowing that down. I remember, like, in the last 2 days, they were really trying to figure out like who is involved. You see? Okay, actor. See, this is what came out in that other reading. Now, someone was following the victim. I think they're kind of like trying to figure out if that's the case, or they have already confirmed that. Witness recent statement is also significant because that may have something to do with like the timeline, seeing her last, whatever. Insurance policy changes that could go in terms of an intent. We have coworker or co-boss. This could lean towards co, what you call it? Co conspirator. And I need to consolidate this. So let's put this here. All right. Now, body moved after death. We're going to put this in the location and discovery. They took something from me. They took something from, ugh, I hate this card. So the cards in gray that I made are more so about the energy of the person. So I remember there was one day, it was like the day before yesterday. Whatever day was the day that they caught the suspect. That day, early that morning, her energy was so strong. And it was in another reading too. It might have been that night before. But they took something from me. They took something from me. Okay. I don't know. Sorry. Just bear with me as I pause. Because a lot of times, especially with stuff like this, like I'm not trying to rush it. And as you can see, I'm also trying to organize the things in real time with you. So GPS coordinates logged. GPS coordinates log. So this is what they were doing with the location stuff. Narrative anchor. Something about this Thursday shit. I'm telling you, I want to go back to this series. Like, once we get an official statement and when, the documentary drops and all that, I want everybody to go back to this video and be like, yeah, Karmic Central told us already. Like, she was on it. And I want to do more missing persons cases, but I already I have enough on my plate. As far as like a deep dive, this is going to be the first one, and then I have to move on to these other things. But objects moving. This could be more of like evidence, tampering with evidence, kind of thing. I tried to warn them before it happened. Somebody tried to warn them. Somebody tried to warn them, and I think it was like a spouse or something like that. Expensive suit, dressed to impress. This is how somebody sees somebody. Um, jealousy or envy. This card keeps coming out. Like somebody is so jealous of this expensive suit person. And y'all know, like, I'm trying not to say specifically, which if you see the energy, you already know. Put it in the comments. Who am I talking about right now? The jealousy and envy of an expensive suit dress to impress. Now, what does this also look like? This is like, okay, the card color you can't really see, but it's like a hot pink fuchsia color, right? And this is green. What does this make you think of? I don't know. Wicked, Alphaba, and then Princess. What's her name? Glinda. Glinda and Alphaba. Duality. The differences between two sisters. Like, there is a dynamic that I'm gonna explore in another video on the sub siblings. So stay tuned for that because I know I'm not fucking making this up. Like I just know I'm not. Twisted outcome. This is what the twisted I want to know what the twisted outcome is. We'll save this for that situation. Scapegoat. So whoever this money hungry manipulative mastermind person is, they were trying to create the close friend, like make the close friend or somebody associated or a group associated with it the scapegoat. But what are we really dealing with? That's the question that everybody started asking in the last like 2 to 3 days. Everybody's been asking the same question. What are we really dealing with? So let's put that there. Child star in the middle of the storm. It could be significant because I was thinking there could be like an argument between either Alphaba and Glinda, or if they're Glinda being the child star, or if this is about punishing Glinda for being such a goody two shoes because she's a rival. I'm telling you, this lady is so ridiculous. Anyway, there's a car with unique stickers. Something is hidden in that car that they took. The car with the fake plates, let's put that in evidence. Body disposed, hidden post-mortem, one glove only. I was so surprised when this car kept coming out. A day before they announced the person with the glove miraculously, and then all of a sudden the day after that, oh, we found the glove. And then the day after that, which would be today, they were like, oh, and by the way, there might be two gloves. I was like, please shut up. Like some of these pieces of evidence, like we're gonna go through it because some of it I feel like is like bullshit. And that's the problem between these two agencies having a beef. Like, how's the FBI and the state police gonna be messing up, or the county police messing up between, like not comparing and contrasting info between each other. Y'all don't know the jurisdiction, and then y'all are not claiming leadership. So everybody's just twiddling their thumbs. So I mean, who knows how long it took them to get it together? That could have been some of the delay. In the next 24 hours could be significant, or 72 hours. There was something significant with that. Day one. Okay, so in the next 3 days, we're going to get some real big info about this first day. Day zero. Day zero would technically be January 31st. That doesn't count. So February 1st, we're gonna get February 1st. And I see, and this is another thing about this ritualistic play that's going on right now. The fact that there is like it's syncing up perfectly to the calendar, and then February 14th is Valentine's Day, Saint Valentine's, heartstring emotional hook type storyline, and the lady has a heart condition. Bro, it's too much going on. Mother figure, hello? Are y'all hello? They're trying to figure out what happened with this day one, the first day. And there may be some other days that they're probably not even like telling that they know are messed up days. Anyway, follow the money. That's what the mom keeps saying. Nancy keeps saying, follow the money. Emotional breakdown. Somebody's going to have an emotional fucking breakdown. And this came out before, and I felt like it had something to do with more so like Nancy. Um, this part. Oh, okay. Somebody's having an emotional breakdown. It's gonna be a crying part of the video. When they have like the interrogation video and they play that. I love watching those. I think that's another like guilty thing, guilty pleasure that I like to have when I have these crime investigation kind of like binges. I This is the first time in a long time that I've really gotten back into that, because I stopped watching 2020 and Dateline and all that for a while, because I think I had like watched every fucking episode, and then I just wanted to let it be a situation where I could like stumble upon a new story again. Because literally I had watched every episode of First 48, everything. I had seen everything. I was like, I would watch it and then be like, oh, I know what's gonna happen. Like, I don't even know what's wrong with that's so Nancy Drew of me. Anyway, that's a book or a book series that I used to really like. Anyway, um, Harriet the Spy. I also like that too. Anyway, sorry. So, death in custody, emotional breakdown. That's not exactly what this is. It was a cross message. Somebody's breaking down about the death in custody. They're in the interrogation room. And that is what we're going to see as confirmation. Let's go back to the video. Once it comes back out, once we get all that stuff, I want somebody to come back to this video. Please, in the comments, say, oh my God, she's crying. Okay, we're not gonna say her name. Alphaba. Okay, that's the most we could say. Somebody's gonna be crying. I mean, it might not even be her. It could also be whoever these other people are. Hidden camera used. We know that the hidden camera has been significant in this whole case. Official declaration of death, that's what I want them to get to. Okay, so I think that's coming up soon, because it came out, and when it did I was like, oh shit. Okay, my spirit, and that it only came out, yeah, that came out last night, I think, as one of the last readings. My spirit won't rest. um Dual personality or hidden self, like, I'm gonna, ooh, Alpha was gonna get her own little situation. The Seeker. I don't know what the Seeker is about though. Guilty, justice served. Justice served. So they're gonna come to a guilty verdict about something, even if it is more to the story. Okay, keep that in mind. There could be more to the story, but they're gonna get some people and they're gonna be held responsible. Okay, and that is gonna be good enough for the public. But it's actually not what's happening. Okay, my body tells the truth. There's gonna be and that's part of the reason, because her body tells the truth. And I'm gonna do a video on where is Nancy, because I think I have an idea. I mean, and not in and the messed up part about me saying that is like, that means nothing, because of the way of the brush and the terrain is set up. Like, she could almost never be found, and she could be so close. She could be in an unusual place, as I've been thinking that she may be, or she could be. Okay, so this is the other horrific side of this. She could have been recovered and or quickly sent out and dispersed. Okay, remember Harvey showed the map, and that was a part of the ransom, and he said something about clues. So who says she's in one piece? But I'm not trying to go there like that. Anyway, missing time block. See. This is what's happening with the time. Missing time block. That turned into, yeah, let's do these time cards too. All right. Gunshot residue. The summoned. See, and you know what I'm thinking about? I'm wondering if there was a situation where they thought that they had cleaned up, or they thought that they were like efficient and moved too quickly out, and they said that it seems like she was dripping blood from maybe her head. Remember in those readings, go back to them, where I said something's going on with her head, like some type of injury to her head, blunt force trauma or something, right? And then I was like, so those drops are from like someone holding a body maybe over their shoulder, and that person is hanging. Now I'm hoping this dum dum had, thought about like at least putting it. somehow carefully in something so that, anyway, let me stop thinking about this. They summoned something they couldn't control, blah blah blah. Isolation. Sudden isolation. I wonder if that is having to do with the family right now, or if Nancy was all of a sudden like isolated. Maybe she hadn't gone to church in a while. Okay, I don't know. Cause again, that timeline of certain things, I don't know. Addicted to control is here. High profile arrest. All right. The arrest is coming. I need to know when this is coming though. When is this coming? When is this coming? When is this coming? All right. I fought back. 911 call. There's something about that needs to be explored with the time. Heart attack. These are all possible causes of death. This needs to be re-explored. Okay, the corrupt official. Deceased, looking very closely. Everybody's still looking very closely. No vehicle on foot. Oh, okay. So now this makes sense. I was trying to figure out what this was. This has to do with the fact that the search, there's not a lot of like areas probably where they can bring a vehicle easily or something. So they have to do a lot on foot. Yeah. Okay. Let's put that in the location stuff. Love triangle. I don't know what this is about. Let's put that over there. Look at my phone device. Somebody's phone. Okay. And it seems like it's Nancy's phone could be significant. Matter of fact, I want to put that in the time thing because I feel like there's something that's going to come out about that. Last seen in surveillance footage. We're going to put that in the time thing because we know a child saw everything. Now, a child saw everything keeps coming out. And I'm like, okay, well, everybody's a child to someone. But now I'm like, is this Alphaba? Is she the one who's doing it? There's been a theory about a woman doing it, but I was like, that does not look like a woman. But then again, she doesn't look that feminine. Okay. Distraction case. Don't even worry about this part. Whatever. This is the Patsy. That's probably what's gonna happen in terms of the arrest. But like I said, an argument. This is why I said about the storm in the middle of the storm. Because right after an argument that they had, maybe between Alphaba and Glenda, there could have been an argument, and then shortly after that, that's when all this stuff starts to turn up. Okay, look in my journal, or somebody wrote something down. Family instability as recruitment leverage. So they could have like, gotten a team, hired a team, whatever, to do this, just to, or in effort to stabilize themselves, because there's something about like the money, like not having a lot of money. Covered in symbols. Somebody could have a lot of tattoos. Classic car. This dark hooded figure. Person behind the scenes is living a double life, and they're a charismatic liar. See? They're the behind the scenes. And this is supposed to be somebody you trust. That's what this card is about. I thought this was about something else. But I'm pretty sure this has more to do with like, yeah. Okay, let's hurry up and get through this because I need to get and have a break for a second. Feather on the body. The original crime. Okay, staged suicide. So the original crime is a staged suicide. Escape from cold, migrations, blah blah blah. I don't know where to put this right now. We'll put that in the time or in the location. Brute force group is here. We'll put that with the, what you call it, government facility is here. I don't remember this, but we'll put this here. Fall engineered via trip. Fall engineered via trip. Somebody's like fall from grace is being engineered by or through some type of sabotage. Oh, this goes into the my theory about Savannah. I think this is crazy. This is the first time I'm seeing this, but this is how I'm interpreting it. It's almost as if like they orchestrated this fall from grace. Like it's a way to make her not work anymore. That was the goal, to stop her from working. A staged suicide. Oh, okay. Where was that? Staged suicide is the original crime. That's fucked up. So they want Savannah to be quiet. So they did this as a way to do that. Wow, misunderstood genius. That's how Savannah is seen, the child star. Remember? Remote cabin or woods. So you know what also? Alphaba could have gotten coerced by someone behind the scenes. That could be what the shadow figure is, who did not understand whoever this misunderstood genius Glenda girl is. And she was easily coerced. Like she was just easily manipulated. Remote cabin or woods. Okay. What was supposed to happen and what actually did? Let's clarify that. They were jealous. We already know that. Contracted betrayal. See, like I said, now this makes sense too. Like, yeah, Annie, Annie was an easy target. They used Annie. Bro, let me be quiet. They used Alphaba as the pawn. Alphaba used so and so, tomato as a pawn, but the real story is Savannah. Okay. The body soul, or the soul saw what the body couldn't. Night before a big an announcement. Okay, so this is happening before whatever. Okay, night before a big announcement. What was Savannah preparing to do before this incident? Okay, the Olympics. Small story. This should have been a small story, but it definitely turned into a big one. So let's put that there. Secret trial held behind closed doors. Okay, this was not random. We know party event location. Has to do with the date night, cross-border evidence. This is where it gets tricky, child, because the cross-border, this is why if these two agencies don't get it together, if they have to make this a countrywide search in this region, I mean, that's going to be a lot. That's at least 6 or 7 different states around her in total that would be involved in the situation, possibly. That's at best. Search history redacted. That's information. Fuel purchase. That's information. All black everything. That's information as far as evidence is concerned. I left signs everywhere. Okay, shadow figures in the reverse. Telling you, there was a call for an open investigation. There's a call for okay. The shadow figures either knew about a call for an open investigation on something, like a news story that was okay. So Savannah could have been working on a news story, right? Glenda could have been working on a news story, a bigger story, maybe something in reference to the Epstein thing that was going to draw a big connection, and they wanted her to stall reporting on it. Probably forensic reconstruction required. Mm. Landscaping renovations, throw them off the scent. Oh god. So did they change like the plants at the house or something? Did something change that is going to actually like be significant? Maybe even a burial ground area could be significant. Exact time unknown. Drowning is here. Something about maybe pneumonia. I don't know why. I have a pneumonia card, but for some reason I am picking up on that too. Um, what are they looking very closely at? That needs to be reestablished. Victim left digital breadcrumbs, dummies emergency vehicle used. Cash out as like a motive. Religious leader could be here. Ooh, cash out, but that could be talking about Alphaba because she is a witch. Music or lyrics repeating. Mm, that kind of feels like that band energy. Screenshot is key evidence. Best friend. Who's the best friend? Oh, the screenshot from the best friend. Suburban home. Don't believe the official story. That's Nancy saying that. Don't believe that. Bicycle left behind. I don't know what that has to do with it. In the home could be significant. GPS contradicts. Alibi. That has to do with time and location. Okay. Secret admirer, mentally unstable. We know. Black SUV. Black SUV. I guess that would be Alphabet's car. Or no, she has a blue SUV, not a black one. SUV nonetheless. Ex-lover is the culprit. The ex-lover is the culprit. So I feel like they are in a relationship, but they just probably not, they probably just don't have the best relationship. Like she's probably, like I said, the sibling who just has, the less better experiences amongst the siblings. Okay, like maybe she's just always traveled off the beaten path. I'm trying to give her grace. Okay, portal nearby. There's a new opening in this case. I do feel like a new opening in the case and how it relates to that politics. Okay, traveled back to the crime scene. I told you somebody went back there. They went back there, which is so stupid. Like, why would you go back? I mean, I guess if you want to like make the lie stick, you got to look normal, act normal. During a holiday event, it was, and then you also do this around birthday time. I think Nancy's birthday is supposed to be like January 27th or something like that, sometime in late January. And you do a dinner couple nights after that, supposedly. And this is supposed to be some type of celebration. Like I said, a heartfelt invitation to dinner, but that's not what it is. It turns deadly. Soil analysis is significant. Oh, well, that goes in evidence. Their guilt is loud. See, this is energy from we're gonna do a reading with Nancy in a second, but chains or restraints could be a part of this. Child. Some type of container or tied up. Um, anyway, I want to get out of here. Vegetation regrowth, Jane Doe. Now this card, this could just be in reference to missing persons, right? But this could also talk about how like that could be the outcome where it's like, she's not found immediately, and this is more so something that happens long down the line or never at all. And it's because they can't identify whoever this person is. But we need to try to figure out where she's gonna go. Where is she? Um, okay. Septic tank or drainage modifications. There could be something that they actually got from that sample that they took or whatever it is that they did there. News anchor script is on the way, so pay attention. Evidence could be leaked online. This red heels or shoes thing, I don't know what that means. Oh, red heels or shoes. Somebody could be walking in blood. Somebody could be walking in blood. Duh. Okay. Um, Let me put that on the card because I feel like I need to interpret that different ways, at different points. What did I say? Bloody shoes. All right. Medical malpractice. Where do we want this to go? Where does this go? Somewhere with the motive and intent. Social media trail. Okay, gang related retaliation, which gang in terms of not like the essays and the Bloods and the Crips and them. No, gang as in like a group of people gang stalking Glenda. Okay, resolved closed case. That's part of why it makes it so fantastical for them, because they don't really have to assume responsibility for the outcome, you know. So that's why it's like almost like a closed case. There, it's resolved. It gets resolved, but it's not satisfying. Okay, corporate executive is here. Oh, that's Savannah. Mood swings, hot temper. Oh, does she got a hot temper? Does she get mad often? I feel like I have seen her kind of like have a lot of pushback. Maybe she had pushback with somebody and it was the wrong person. Okay, long coat or trench, that'll be evidenced. Viral document leaks, that could be a significant development in the story. I don't know why that keeps coming out. Hospital gown. Now, this is significant to me because this came out the night that they said, oh, someone got airlifted up. Um, this could be Nancy, right? And I think in that same reading, a card flew out about like a witness going into protection, and that had come out like maybe at least twice before. So, that could still be a possibility to kind of lure certain situations, maybe like scare people into thinking that there's a possibility that they found her already and she's alive enough to tell. That's a possibility. Not necessarily likely, because, like I said, I do feel like this is more so about like her sickness. And oh gosh, I'm just now seeing that you guys are small. Sorry. Hospital gown is here for her being sick and ill. Okay. That has to do with the medical malpractice. It's almost like they didn't want her to go to the hospital. Or I was about to say hospice. Something to do with that costing money. Organized crime. um an organized crime member doesn't have to be, again, like the Bloods or the Crips. Anybody who's trying to organize a crime together with someone else. Afternoon heat, the outsider. Bloodstained clothing will be significant. Waste removal could also be very significant because that kind of came out early, that they were either looking in waste removal or waste things, or somebody could have thrown something out inside vehicle or trunk. I'm telling you, something in that car. Something in that car. Oh my God, the trunk. The trunk. There could be some like blood in the trunk. Inconclusive autopsy is what also gets on my nerves, because I feel like this is where I'm picking up on that cut up energy. So it could be inconclusive. We could never know if we don't have a body to work with. Okay. Photos show impossible events. I don't know what that's about. Oh, this could be about like the security camera, like saying that you dropped her off, but that's not showing up in the camera. Like, where is she? Did you take her out to the back? Did you take her to the garage? Like those could be conversations. Podcast investigative stories. That's kind of like the trajectory of it. Like movies, podcasts, is getting a lot of attention, especially online. Scissors could be significant. Or this is about like being cut out of something, or feeling restricted or chained. Somebody could feel restricted or restrained by having to be a caretaker to someone else, right? They could feel a way about being cut out, or they want to cut off something. Accident turned intentional. All right. So I think we have a good place to start as far as our timeline is concerned. So stay tuned for that in the next video. I am going to get into that in great detail, okay? Because it almost as if that timeline got compromised. All right. So I do want to reconcile all of the timeline notes that I have into one video, and then we'll go into what is super significant about a specific window. All right. I love you. See you in the next one.